January 25th, 2023, number 3848. I posted to the Anachronisms blog, which starts with an epigraph by the person this poem is about. I just like living, only like living. John Ashbery. I'd like to believe there was at least a joke he planted about reading these lines, his words, after he was gone, but then I really don't know. I've grown quite acquainted with what I think of as his humor, which is generally, or more often than not, pretty bleak. A funny thing, certainly, to be able, with some feeling of authority, to think of him at all, as if I have a general idea of what he was doing all along with the sidewalks of words he built upon which we walk. Sometimes someone else might pour a bit of concrete or lay down a square set of nail planks into which to pour this salad. I project this upon the man I never heard read, who wrote a grand sum of sidewalk collages from which I glean clear stories seen by endless angles or become hard set on how absolute the narrative that holds some of them intact, despite the absurdity. You'd think him my favorite, but he's not. Frank's snacks, Jimmy's elevated lines of observation, these are more my cups of tea, although I don't drink tea much unless sprinkled with Splenda and dashed with lemon. I should take inventory of what books of his I've yet to read. But each next time I read one of his poems or one of his books, it gets better. Many pieces on the whole may not instantly be memorable, but these are endlessly memorable. There are endlessly memorable moments. That's heresy to no small few, and maybe to myself, and just the opinion of one who reads him nearly as much as we dwindlers do, even if for me his tomes don't hold what I'd consider my favorites. Though even among his spare, original, and problematic school, I can admit he's had a profound influence on me. He pops up often in these amassed virtual pages, more perhaps than any other person or group, save my own personal poem, Swap Compatriots, How I Miss You All Too, from the JP Elders to my colleagues' weekend mornings at Anza Vista, to the swaps at my short-term bachelor pad on Bush Street, to the decades plus of regular swap meets on that block's upright corner, Pine and Mason. I do mean these diversions, but not to muddy up what I was trying to say here. Silly of me to do that, especially since Ashbery's bricolage of stanzas and sentences do, more than anyone else's, catalyze so many of these limitations that I fold into paper airplanes with which to bombard you so regularly, which is a bit of a sullen, if not just downright offensive metaphor, please forgive, my blips as airplanes that might crash onto your body, where enough so that you can feel it, one may make an impact. There'd be casualties then. Let's make a pact that those who don't survive the impact are also just metaphors like the worst lines I construct. Don't kill them all off, please, though, because how sweet it'd be to have given you a worthwhile piece of me, something at least somewhat real that you might keep, if for no other reason than to remember me by.